This session is resumed. I believe that the House is now in session, correct? So that I will expect civility and decorum when the House is in session.
In the name of the Honourable Minister in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, to move the second reading of the Dematerialization of Government Securities Bill 2018.
The Honourable for Christchurch East Central.
Mr. Speaker, before I begin, I wish to beg your permission to treat order number 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, sir, as a cognate debate given the nature of the interrelatedness of the bills before the House. And so, somebody seconding it?
The question is that the aforementioned bills be treated as a cognate debate given the fact that they're inextricably linked. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say no. Me think the ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, the matter before the House is the Dematerialization of Government Securities Bill, which, sir, seeks to bring to resolution a way of issuing government securities, sir, in this country in a much more seamless and secure manner for those persons who wish to procure government debt. Now, sir, a few weeks ago in this House, we brought the Debt Holders Approval of Debt Restructuring Act, and that sought to give the framework, sir, under which the debt restructuring that the government of Barbados announced that it was undertaken on June 1st into existence, sir. We would have issued an exchange offer on the domestic side, sir, on September 7th, and that offer closed on October 5th, sir. And I am happy to report to the House that almost 100% of those persons, sir, who held domestic debt chose, sir, the offer which was put to them. And so therefore the government of Barbados now, sir, is in a position, at least with respect to the domestic debt, will be in a position, sir, to realize some relief with respect to the interest that government is going to pay over the next 4 years, and certainly in a position, sir, to better able to manage its commitments with respect to its public debt obligations. Sir, this was not a particularly easy exercise because, as you are aware, the government of Barbados have had to make some decisions with respect to how we treat particular individuals and entities, sir. But as I said to you then, sir, we took a decision to make sure that the financial system as a whole, sir, would still be viable and intact, to make sure that it can deliver the kind of growth that we would expect to see going forward. And so the dematerialization of government securities bill, sir, in essence allows for the central bank, sir, as fiscal agent to issue public debt going forward, sir, in an electronic form. Now, sir, I'm sure that you are aware that at the moment, prior to this particular point in time, sir, once you bought securities, there was a physical certificate that would have been issued to persons. And as you know, sir, if you're issuing 20-year bond or 30-year bond, sir, and you're issued that certificate, many persons, as we see in the newspapers, sir, from time to time, as you move over time, things happen, sir, and these things become misplaced, and very often at the very time that people are expected to be able to redeem or cash in those bonds if they wish to at any particular point in time, sir, it always posed a problem because you couldn't find the physical copy to demonstrate that you'll be able to redeem such. And so therefore this bill, sir, allows for the issuance of all new debt, sir, going forward with respect to government securities, to be able to publish it in a manner that is safe, sir, secure with respect to being free from forgery, sir, because whilst we haven't spoken a lot about these issues, sir, these were some of the things that confronted people who currently hold government securities. And so as we seek to do the overall debt restructuring now, sir, we are looking, as part of what we're talking about modernizing government, sir, that this process is perhaps the first element in that modernization of the way that government does business. And we feel, sir, that this would allow persons to feel much more comfortable that once they're able to purchase government securities, that they're able to do so in a manner that's secure. As I say to you then, sir, issued in this form allows for much easier trading of said government securities. And as you know, sir, whether you trade in equities on a stock market or you trade in currency, sir, in the currency market, in much the same way, issuing our debt in this manner, sir, would allow debt holders and those persons who are interested in the secondary trading of government securities to be able to do so, sir, in a seamless manner. And as we are talking about modernizing government, sir, the minimization of the use of paperwork is going to be important. Because once we are all registered on the system, sir, then I know that I want to dispose of a piece of my bond to you, sir, I can do so quite easily without any one of us being able to even come in to an institution, namely the central bank, but you'll be able to trade, sir, in a much easier manner by having this framework in place. And so, sir, the dematerialization of government of securities bill is before the House now to be able to bring this into effect. And I just wish to very quickly, sir, go through some of the salient points as identified in this bill for the benefit of yourself and those in the chamber, as well as the consequential changes, sir, to the Savings Bonds Act, the amendments to the Treasury Bills and Tax Certificates Act, sir, as well as consequential amendments to the Local Loans Act, which will bring or give the authority for these debt instruments to be able to be issued. And this is very important, sir, because as we seek to issue this new debt, which is unlike any previous debt that we issued, sir, one of the salient features that we spoke about in the previous debate was the fact that these debts now will be amortizing. And because these debts will be amortizing, sir, one of the consequential amendments with respect to this piece of legislation means then, sir, that the provision in the Local Loans Act, sir, for the need for a sinking fund, because of the nature of these new instruments, there will not be a need to establish a sinking fund for these newly issued instruments under the debt restructuring, simply because the nature and the structure of the bond, sir, means that for every period where a payment is to be made, sir, that the prospective bondholder will be getting a piece of the principal along with the interest after the appropriate grace periods would have passed. And so going forward, sir, unless specifically designed, this is the way in which government intends to be able to service its debt, sir, to make sure that at any given point in time, that the liquidity structure of government, the cash flow situation of government is always intact. And I would hope, sir, that going forward, any person who seeks to sit in the office of the Ministry of Finance will take that into consideration, sir. Because as a responsible government, you must always be looking forward and projecting, sir, what your expenditures are likely to be. And given the debt that you already hold, sir, you must control your public finances to make sure that you don't jeopardize, sir, the ability of the government to be able to meet those obligations. And so, sir, Section 2 certainly outlines the interpretation as usual, and Section 3 relating to the application says this act shall apply to a government security issued before or after the commencement of this act. Sir, as the debt, the domestic debt restructuring has come to a conclusion, this act, sir, seeks to give the central bank, as I said, to you as acting as our fiscal agent, that authority to be able to issue the debt under this format. The appointment of the registrar, sir, as with these things, currently you have the Barbados Central Securities the depository institution, which currently, sir, is the central clearinghouse, if you like, for tradable securities in the market. And so, therefore, sir, that is something that's already established. And so, if you trade in equities, sir, that is where those things are normally resolved, so that for any shareholding that you may have, sir, periodically you will get a statement from that entity, which acts in a sense as the clearinghouse that tells you how much your interest might have in any particular company, how much your shares are worth, and that is what Barbadians now currently experience. But with this, sir, the appointment of the registrar, it gives certainly the central bank will be appointed as a registrar for the government securities in much the same way that, as I mentioned, the BCSDI represents the registrar in a sense for equities. It says, notwithstanding subsection 1, the minister may by order designate a licensed central securities depository or other person or body to act as the registrar. The registrar, it says, for the purposes act, sir, the registrar shall cause to be kept a register to be known as the register of dematerialized securities. And it is on that basis, sir, that every time, every bondholder at the moment, sir, will come under, in a sense, this registrar, who will now be given indication, sir, of what it is they actually hold and the value of the bonds that they have, sir, and such that at any point in time, sir, any person should be able to go and check to see what is the value of the bond, how much is being traded, if they wish to trade, what would be the value, sir, that will be traded at any particular point in time. At 252, it says the registrar shall enter into the register a record, and it says here the name and address of the person, the principal value of the dematerialized security, interest to be paid, all the particulars, sir, that are usually associated with issuing securities of this kind. Interest to be paid in respect of these securities, the rights accruing from dematerialized securities, the right of third parties to dematerialize, the rights of third parties, sir, and any other particulars that may be prescribed for inclusion in the register. Now, sir, as you are aware, I know that Barbadians like to have paper. And this is one of the consequential changes, sir, with respect to what's happening right now. But we all know, sir, that many people, as I said earlier, things happen, you move, somebody, toddler may get loose in the house, sir, and either scrawl up or tear certain instruments, sir. I'm well aware, I'm sure you're aware, sir. And these are some of the instances where then persons no longer have the physical evidence to suggest that they own a particular security, sir. So, Section 6, sir, speaks to what your the prima facie evidence. And it says, sir, Section 6.1, the register shall be prima facie evidence that a person holds the legal title to any government security entered therein. And so, sir, what I want to signal to you and to the country through you, sir, is that this is the fundamental clause 6, that this is the fundamental change, or one of the fundamental changes with respect to the way we're going to be issuing the new government securities. Now, it says clause 6.2, a copy of the extract from the register, which is duly certified by the registrar, shall be admissible in evidence in any court. And that is important, sir, because if you're going to break new ground, you have to give the framework, sir, for which that will be the case. And so, in much the same way as there were the forums held to sensitize persons with respect to what was unlawful with respect to the offer of exchange, there will be similarly, sir, some communications coming with respect to how this is going to be rolled out, specifically with respect to the central bank. Now, sir, Part 3, Clause 7, speaks to the actual dematerialization itself. And it says here essentially that every government security shall be issued as a dematerialized security, and the legal title of any government security issued after the commencement of this act shall be acquired evidence and electronically transferred without an instrument in writing. It says payment of interest, sir, on the dematerialized security may be effected by electronic means and in accordance with the provisions of any regulations thereafter. And, sir, we speak very much about making it easy to do business with government, sir. And whilst this is a change that has been long in coming, even though it already exists to some degree within the Treasury bill part of the market, sir, we are just expanding this now to make sure we cover and bring greater efficiency to the way that government does its business, but certainly to provide to the public that measure of added security, such that if they may lose or someone may defraud or fraudulently copy the instruments, that they wouldn't be disadvantaged, because those cases will be minimized in the way that we are going to be issuing these new instruments. Now, sir, says here, notice respecting, Clause 8, notice respecting conversion of government securities. And very quickly, sir, in much the usual way, it doesn't mean that the public is not going to be informed as they would normally. But it says here, the registrar, by notice published on at least 2 occasions, both in the official gazette and in a daily newspaper circulated in Barbados, shall A, inform the public of the termination of the issuing of certificates of ownership of government securities, the commencement of electronic registration of government securities, and the holding of information relating to the government securities in the form of electronic record. Specify the date in which the conversion of the records of the government security in electronic form shall commence and end. Again, in C, inform the public that the date of commencement of this act, from the date of the commencement of this act, all government securities shall be issued as dematerialized government securities. D, notify the public that all government securities in a paper form shall be required to be converted to dematerialized securities. E, describe the procedure to be followed to effect the dematerialization. F, direct all holders of government securities to surrender their certificates of ownership of the government securities to the registrar for the purpose of the conversion of government securities into dematerialized form. So, sir, in much the same way as we had the forums to explain the exchange of offer, there's going to be a similar process now in place to make sure that there's order with respect to the issuing of the new securities. Now, sir, the Clause 9 speaks to conversion and the transfer of the government securities. And it says where a certificate of ownership of a government security is surrendered to the registrar, in this case the central bank, the registrar shall convert all the government securities, convert the government security to which the certificate refers into a dematerialized government security. I remember, sir, the offer to the public, there were specific series that specific bondholders were going to be rolled over into. And so therefore, having concluded the debt restructuring, when persons present their physical copies to the bank, then obviously they will be issued electronically the bond which applies to them under the context of the debt restructuring. And the information as described in Clause 5 would be the information obviously to ensure that the ownership or the records of ownership are consistent with what would have normally obtained when you issue the paper process. And sir, it says credit the principal value of the dematerialized government security to the securities account, sir, of the respective holder of the security. 2, it says where a notice is published in accordance with Section 8 and the period stipulated in the notice in respect of the conversion of the record of a government security into the dematerialized format expires, ownership of a government security which is not dematerialized before the expiration of the period stipulated in the notice shall only be transferred or redeemed where the security is converted to a dematerialized format. And sir, this is important because as we seek to move from the old system, in a sense, into a new way of doing things, in order obviously for when we recommence payments, sir, under the new arrangements, then obviously payments must be made in that format because it allows obviously one for greater efficiency on the part of not just the central bank acting as government's fiscal agent, but it also allows for orderly process to take place. Part 4, sir, speaks to the miscellaneous immunity of officers of the bank, and the regulations at 11, sir, says the minister may make regulations in relation to the following matters: A, the keeping of the register; B, the issue, administration, registration, transfer, redemption, and holding of the dematerialized government securities and the payment of interest and dematerialized securities; C, third-party rights to dematerialized government securities; and D, any other matters required to be prescribed in accordance with this Act. Now, sir, I wish here just to indicate that when it refers to third parties, as you may be aware, sir, once you have the ability to trade, sir, much more efficiently, it means that at any particular point in time that someone who may be interested in purchasing securities from yourself, sir, would naturally be aware what is available in the market, what it's worth, and therefore, sir, will be able, if you were interested in disposing of any securities that you have, sir, that those arrangements can be put in place such that if I'm prepared to accept what it is you are offering, or you the same with whoever the third party is, sir, that is the basic mechanism that will be in place for that trading to take place. And so it is not in any way for anybody to know anybody's business. But if you are interested, sir, in disposing of any of your securities, the third party, whoever that third party might be, it could be an institutional investor, or it could very well be the government wishing to repurchase debt, sir, or other individuals, sir, who are interested in acquiring the government of Barbados' debt again, because they realize that being successful in bringing good order back to the public finances, that they're able to get a decent return, sir, that once persons want to dispose of the debts that they're holding, that they can allow people to know, sir, and they'll be able then to effect the trading in a simpler manner. Okay, sir? Clause 12 speaks to the minister may amend the schedule, which it says the minister may by order amend the schedule, and 2, an order made pursuant to section 1 shall be subject to negative resolution. Now, sir, the schedule of this particular bill speaks to the amendments to the Local Loans Act, the Savings Bonds Act, and the Treasury Bills and Tax Certificates, Cap 106. And it is important, sir, that at this stage to indicate, and I want to speak to specifically the amendment. There's an amendment to the Local Loans Act, and I want to make it abundantly clear to the country through you, sir. Order number 11, sir, speaks to the Local Loans Act with respect to the dematerialization element of this legislation, and giving the authority for local loans to be issued in a dematerialized format, in that electronic format, sir. But the amendment at 7, sir, order number 7 of the Local Loans Act is important, and I wish to highlight it here, sir. The amendment to the Local Loans Act under order number 7, sir, by way of explanation, seeks to increase, sir, the limit on the Local Loans Act from $7.5 billion to $10.5 billion. Now, why is this necessary, sir? This is necessary because until such time as we are able to effect the issuance of the new debt, sir, this is important to give the authority for that new debt to be issued. Sir, as you may be aware, we've had to take the extraordinary step, sir, of restructuring Treasury bills into longer term instruments. And the reason for that, sir, as you are well aware, there's been extensive discussion on it. Under the previous administration, financial institutions were running away from the long-term securities of government and were purchasing an inordinate amount, sir, of short-term bills, securities, sir, in the name of Treasury bills, and we had to restructure that. And it is that restructuring, sir, in shifting the payment, the high interest costs from Treasury bills, which expired in some instances 3 months and 6 months, over a longer period of time. And so therefore, under this restructuring, we've had to increase the Local Loans Act, which speaks to longer term securities, by approximately $3 million to account for the fact that we've had to shift what we had to restructure under the Treasury bill section, sir, into longer term securities to increase that. Now, what will come, sir, and I want to make it clear, as a subsequent amendment, sir, is that we are going to reduce the limit on Treasury bills by the equivalent $3 billion after we've been able to execute the debt restructuring, by allowing us to expand the limit on the Local Loans Act to take account for the fact that we've had to restructure the short-term instruments. And so therefore, once these amendments are put in place and passed, it gives the authority for us to carry out or to execute or implement the debt restructuring. And once that's completed, we will then come back and reduce the limit on Treasury bills from what it is now at $4.5 billion down to $1.5 billion. And so these amendments, sir, all taken in concert, will give us the space to actually implement the debt restructuring and to be able then, sir, to bring back some order to the public finances. Now, sir, these are amendments that are absolutely critical in order for the government to manage its finances. But in this form, sir, it really does give an opportunity, especially, sir, for those persons who may be faced with some liquidity or cash flow challenges, to be able to trade, to better trade their facilities. And we know, sir, that under the new arrangements, that the cash flow for many of our bondholders, especially the individuals, sir, will be enhanced, simply because, as I said, the nature and the structure of this new debt, sir, means that you will be receiving your principal much earlier than waiting 15 years, as has been the case, as what has been discussed in the public. But because we are giving people back the opportunity to get their monies back earlier, sir, I wish to stress again that when you take the fact that over time the value of money diminishes, that we're actually helping people, sir, to live better. And the earliest opportunity, sir, once we are able to execute this, we'll be in a position, sir, to make a further specific announcement with respect to what we may be contemplating again in this area. Now, sir, the consequence really of a decade of fiscal indiscipline, sir, has led us to this point. But I take pride, sir, in bringing this bill here because it allowed us the opportunity, obviously, to do something that I believe ultimately, sir, will transform the way that Barbadians or whoever choose to hold the debt of the government of Barbados, sir, to be able, with careful scrutiny and advice, sir, that at any point in time in the future, if some other government, sir, behaves in the same manner that the previous government did, sir, it will give those persons the opportunity to much easier, sir, disavow themselves financially of the government. And this is important, sir, because whilst there are always people, sir, who are looking at the credit quality of certain institutions, and there are always opportunities for persons to take advantage of, given where the financial situation of entities may perhaps be in doubt. But Barbadians should be aware, sir, that as we go through this process of making it easier for them to trade debt securities in this manner, that we are in a position now to make sure, sir, that the government is actually able to repay that which they accepted in the offer, in the domestic debt exchange offer. And this government, in everything that we are doing, sir, we are making sure that, one, where revenues are meant to be collected, sir, they're collected. That when we start to spend money, sir, that we get the maximum value for money as possible, such that when persons look at the operations of its government, that it will feel confident, sir, that if it wishes, whether on a short-term basis or on a long-term basis, that it will be able to provide its government with the much-needed support that it may need from time to time. And so, sir, I just wish to indicate and reiterate, that under these provisions and the amendments for the Savings Bonds, Treasury Bills, and the Local Loans Act, that the provision for a sinking fund would not be necessary, and I wish to repeat that because the structure of these new bonds and the way that they're going to be amortized, or where the principal is paid piece by piece over time, sir, that the provision for the sinking fund under these new terms will not be necessary. Now, sir, this is an important piece of legislation, and I certainly await the contributions of my colleagues, but this is this is a matter, sir, that we have had to deal with in as expeditious a manner as we possibly can. And as part of the way forward, sir, the issuance of government securities in an electronic format provides a safe way for government and as well as debt holders to be able to trade and treat to the issue of government. And I just want to reiterate that, one, we've had to increase the local loans limit to take account for the fact that we've had to restructure the Treasury bills component of the debt. And two, there will be subsequent legislation, sir, that will come to lower the Treasury bills limit to make sure that the overall quantum, sir, of debt stock remains the same, and then over time we are going to bring the level of debt down from 157% of GDP where it is to 60% of GDP where it is. And with those few words, sir, I wish to move that this bill be read a second time.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Honourable Member for St. Michael West.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I want to support the dematerialization of government securities bill and the other bits of legislation consequential upon the anticipated passing of that bill in this House. And I want to support the bill for various reasons, not least of which is the fact that a few weeks ago, I do recall, and you would, Mr. Speaker, I dare say, during the debate on the law reform bill in this chamber, I called for this very thing, the dematerialization of securities. And therefore, in that regard, I would want to applaud the government for responding so speedily and getting this legislation to this honourable chamber. As a few seem to be a bit incredulous, Mr. Speaker, but they can check with the records and they would see that when we did discuss law reform in this chamber on the issue of technology, and with reference to what is the focus recently of law ministers of the Commonwealth, I did suggest that this is an area that we needed to address and have legislation appropriately so passed in this House. So I commend the Honourable Member for Christchurch East Central for acting with dispatch and bringing this bill to the House this evening. But I do lament the fact that he put it before us in a context which suggested that it had very much to do with expediency in relation to recent debt holder exchange issues and stuff like that, rather than present it as a progressive developmental tool, a mechanism in relation to investment for this country going forward, investment which we direly need if we are to get out of this hole in which we find ourselves. Because this legislation provides for us, for this country, for this economy, an enhanced platform for such investment, whether local or foreign. The aspects of security, efficiency, and accuracy, ease of doing business, the importance of which in each of those respects cannot be understated. And I believe that the anticipated passing of this bill this evening should be seen in that light, as building that progressively enhanced platform to facilitate better prospects for investment for this country, both from local, domestic sources and external sources as well. This will mean a significant change in the way we do business, and that is what transformation is all about. And this will introduce a transformative dynamic in our economic culture, which allows for a better context for persons who seek to invest the resources they have in the development of this country, and who will, of course, by that means also anticipate healthy returns. But, Mr. Speaker, it does not address, and herein lies the challenge for the Honourable Member for Christchurch East Central, it does not address potentially the lack of confidence that persons who would perhaps historically have invested, or persons who may, as we go down the road, come into such resources as they would want to find an investment pool which they can lodge those resources. The challenge the Honourable Member for Christchurch East Central will have to face and overcome is the restoration of confidence insofar as that is concerned, after what is not only our recent experience, but we're still in the middle of it, where people have experienced or will experience shaves and haircuts and a government having to renege on its financial commitments and enter into defaults and all of that. The reality is that that has shaken the confidence of many, and that confidence has to be restored. And it does not matter the form in which securities are traded, whether electronically or by use of paper certificates, etc. The challenge is seeing a rebirth of that confidence. And the Honourable Member for Christchurch East Central will have to lead this government in telling us what the government will do to restore that confidence. And I think that that is a point, Mr. Speaker, that I have to make, and that it not be overlooked. Now, the Honourable Member for Christchurch East Central, and I want to use his words, he says, this, the Honourable Member does, this is a very important piece of legislation. And I will repeat that through you, Mr. Speaker, because I want the Honourable Member to hear his own words. This is an important piece of legislation, and I do concur. And yet, we are faced again with a situation where these 4 bits of legislation are brought to this House a couple of hours ago, not affording members on the government side, I believe, the opportunity to properly read and study. Well, I got to repeat the chorus. Not allowing members, even on the government side, time to review this legislation and to study its implications. If the legislation is important, you need to set it out in such a context as does become indicative of that importance. And so, Parliament should have been made aware of this in advance of that moment at which we got it today. And I know it is late in the night, and I know ears over there may not be warmly attuned to what I am trying to say. But if the legislation is that important, bring it here in a proper time and afford your own members the opportunity to review it. I support the bill, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member for Christchurch East Central.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the bill be read a second time.
The question is that the bill be read a second time. Those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it.
I'll leave the chair and the House resolve itself in committee for further consideration of this bill.
The question is that the Speaker do leave the chair and the House resolve itself into committee for further consideration of this bill. Those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it.
House is now in committee.
Part 1, clauses 1 to 3.
I'd like to move that clause 1 to 3 stand part.
Seconder, please.
Seconder. Question is that clause 1 stand part. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. Aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Part 2, clauses 4 to 6.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clauses 4 to 6 stand part.
Question is that clauses 4 to 6 stand part. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Part 3, clauses 7 to 9.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clauses 7 to 9 stand part.
Question is that clause 7 to 9 stand part. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Part 4, clauses 10 to 12.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clauses 10 to 12 stand part.
Question is that clauses 10 to 12 stand part. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
The schedule.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that the schedule be the schedule to the bill.
Question is that the schedule be the schedule to the bill. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that you do not report to His Honour the Speaker the passing of one bill in committee.
Question is that I now report to the Speaker the passing of one bill. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
No, we got to do them. You got to come back and do the other.
The chairman of committees has reported to me the passing of one bill in committee.
I beg to move that this bill be read a third time.
Question is that the bill be read a third time. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this bill be now passed and cited as the Dematerialization of Government Securities Act 2018.
Question is that this bill be so cited and passed. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it. This bill is so cited and passed.
Order number 7, sir. In the name of the Honourable Minister in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, to move the second reading of a Local Loans Amendment Bill 2018.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the bill be read a second time.
Question is that this bill be read a second time. All those honourable members in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say no. You think the ayes have it?
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that it do not leave the chair and the House resolve itself in committee for further consideration of this bill.
Second.
Question is that the Speaker do not leave the chair and the House resolve itself into committee for further consideration of this bill.
Right? Okay.
All those honourable members in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say no. You think the ayes have it?
This is nonsense.
This House is now in committee.
Clause 1.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 1 stand part.
Question is that Clause 1 stand part. All honourable members in favor, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 2.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 2 stand part.
Question is that Clause 2 stand part. All honourable members in favor, please say aye. Aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 3.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 3 stand part.
Question is that Clause 3 stand part. All honourable members in favor, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 4.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 4 stand part.
Question is that Clause 4 stand part. All honourable members in favor, please say aye. Aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Report.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that you do not report to His Honour the Speaker the passing of one bill in committee.
Second.
Question is that I now report to the Honourable Speaker the passing of one bill. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
We have the modernized part of it.
The chairman of committees has reported the passing of one bill in committee.
Move that this bill be read a third time.
Question is that this bill be read a third time. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this bill be now passed and cited as the Local Loans Amendment Act 2018.
Question is that this bill be so passed and so cited. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say no. In the ayes have it, this bill is so cited and passed.
Order number 9, sir. In the name of the Honourable Minister in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, to move the second reading of the Savings Bonds Amendment Bill 2018.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this bill be read a second time.
Question is that this bill be read a second time. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say no. You think the ayes have it?
Mr. Speaker, I beg that you do not leave the chair and the House resolve itself into committee for further consideration of this bill.
Question.
Second, please.
The question is that the Speaker do leave the chair and the House resolve itself into committee for further consideration of this bill. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it.
This House is now in committee.
Clause 1.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 1 stand part.
Question is that Clause 1 stand part. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 2.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 2 stand part.
Question is that Clause 2 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 3.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 3 stand part.
Question is that Clause 3 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 4.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 4 stand part.
Question is that Clause 4 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 5.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 5 stand part.
Question is that Clause 5 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 6.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 6 stand part.
Question is that Clause 6 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 7.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 7 stand part.
Question is that Clause 7 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 8.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 8 stand part.
Question is that Clause 8 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 9.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 9 stand part.
Question is that Clause 9 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Report.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that you do no report to His Honour the Speaker the passing of one bill in committee.
Question is that I report to the Honourable Speaker the passing of one bill in committee. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Chairman of Committees has reported to me the passing of one bill in committee.
I beg to move that this bill be not read a third time.
Question is that this bill be read a third time. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say no. You think the ayes have it?
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this bill be now passed and cited as the Savings Bonds Amendment Act 2018.
Question is that this bill be now cited and so passed. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it. The bill is so cited and passed.
Order number 10, sir. In the name of the Honourable Minister in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, to move the second reading of the Treasury Bills and Tax Certificates Amendment Bill 2018.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this bill be read a second time.
Question is that this bill be read a second time. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that you do not leave the chair and the House resolve itself in committee for further consideration of this bill.
Question is that the Speaker do not leave the chair and the House resolve itself into committee for further consideration of this bill. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it.
I can't imagine the best minister do this.
This House is now in committee. Carry on some more.
No, one more of this. One more. Clause 1.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 1 stand part.
Question is that Clause 1 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. Aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 2.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 2 stand part.
Question is that Clause 2 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. Aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 3.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that Clause 3 stand part.
Question is that clause 3 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 4.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clause 4 stand par.
Second that.
Question is that clause 4 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 5.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clause 5 stand par.
Second that.
Question is that clause 5 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 6.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clause 6 stand par.
Second that.
Question is that clause 6 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
All those against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 7.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clause 7 stand par.
Second that.
Question is that clause 7 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
4.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that you do no report to His Honour the Speaker the passing of one bill in committee.
Beg to second.
Question is that I report to the Speaker the passing of one bill. All honourable members in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
The chairman of committees has reported to me the passing of one bill in committee.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this bill be read a third time.
Question is that this bill be read a third time. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this bill be now passed and cited as the Treasury Bills and Tax Certificates Amendment Act 2018.
Beg to second that.
Question is that this bill be now passed and so cited. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, please say no. This bill is now passed and so cited.
Order number 11, sir. In the name of the Honourable Minister in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, to move the second reading of the Local Loans Amendment number 2, Bill 2018.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this bill be read a second time.
Question is that this bill be read a second time. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Those against, please say no. You think the ayes have it?
Mr. Speaker, I beg that you do not leave the chair and the House resolve itself in the committee for further consideration of this bill.
Question is that the Speaker do leave the chair and the House resolve itself into committee for further consideration of this bill. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it.
This House is now in committee.
Clause 1.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clause 1 stand par.
Question is that clause 1 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 2.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clause 2 stand par.
Question is that clause 2 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 3.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clause 3 stand par.
Question is that clause 3 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 4.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clause 4 stand par.
Second that.
Question is that clause 4 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 5.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clause 5 stand par.
Question is that clause 5 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All those against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Clause 6.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clause 6 stand par.
Question is that clause 6 stand par. All honourable members in favour, please say aye. All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Report.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that you do not report to His Honour the Speaker the passing of one bill in committee.
Seconder.
I second that.
Question is that I report to the Speaker the passing of one bill in committee. All honourable members in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
All honourable members against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Chairman of committees has reported the passing of one bill in committee.
Absolutely.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this bill be not read a third time.
Question is that this bill be read a third time. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Those against, please say no. Me think the ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this bill be now passed and cited as the Local Loans Amendment Number 2, Act 2018.
I beg to second that.
The question is that this bill be passed and so cited. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it. This bill is so passed and so cited.
Speaker, sir, that brings us to the end of government business for the day. I beg to move that this House be now adjourned until Friday, the 26th of October at 10 a.m.
Seconder, please.
Question is that this honourable House be adjourned until 10 a.m.
Know that before?
on the 26th day of October 2018. All those honourable members in favour, please say aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it. This honourable chamber is adjourned until the 26th day of October 2018 at 10 a.m. in the forenoon.
I just won't be here.